Most people start their day with an alarm clock. I haven't heard one in years. Not because I'm lazy, not because I hit the jackpot, but because I found a way to stop trading my life for a paycheck. 5 years ago, I was just like everyone else. Wake up, rush out the door, sit in traffic, clock in, stare at screens, count the hours, clock out, go home, repeat. That cycle was eating me alive. Then one day, it hit me. I was spending the best hours of my life building someone else's dream while mine sat in the background collecting dust. I was 25 and already burned out. I had a good job, a decent apartment, and barely any time to enjoy either. I looked at people who were 60, still grinding, and thought, is this it? Is that where I'm headed? That question changed everything. I started reading, listening, watching. Anything that could show me another way. I discovered something nobody taught me in school. Retirement isn't an age, it's a strategy. And if you understand how money works, how cash flow works, you can retire way earlier than anyone tells you. At 30, I walked away from my 9 to 5 forever. No trust fund, no windfall, just a different approach to life. Stick with me, I'll show you exactly how I did it. There wasn't one big moment that broke me. It was death by 1,000 emails. Every day I'd wake up and wonder, is this it? Is this what I worked for? College, loans, that first big job. It was all supposed to lead somewhere, but all it gave me was anxiety and a 2-week vacation once a year. I started seeing the cracks when I realized I was always tired, always distracted. My relationships were surface level. My dreams, remember those? They were buried under bills and burnout. I remember one Thursday morning, I was 25. I looked around that office. The same fake laughs, the same fluorescent lights, the same inbox full of nothing that mattered. I thought, if I'm still here at 40, I'll regret it. And the worst part? I wasn't miserable because I was broke. I was miserable because I was disconnected. I was spending my one life on autopilot. That night, I opened a Google Doc and wrote one line. How do I never have to work for someone again? That question became an obsession. I didn't want to be rich. I wanted to be free. And those are two very different goals. So I started learning. Not in school. School didn't teach this. I learned from people who were already living free, and everything started to shift. Once I decided to get out, I really committed. Every free moment went into research. I stopped scrolling and started searching. I found people talking about FIRE, financial independence, retire early. I didn't even know that was possible, but the more I listened, the more I realized. These weren't gurus. These were regular people with systems. They weren't focused on being flashy. They were focused on freedom. So I took inventory. What did I spend? What did I make? What was my gap? I cut unnecessary spending, canceled subscriptions, stopped eating out, downgraded my apartment. Not because I was cheap, because I had a goal bigger than comfort. Then I started building income streams. First, I created a simple digital product, a PDF that helped people solve a small problem. It made $20 here, $40 there. But it worked. Then I started affiliate marketing, then dividend stocks. Then I bought a small rental property with a friend. Each income stream was small, but they started to stack. Eventually, the income from those sources was enough to cover rent and groceries. And then, a year later, it covered everything. The moment I realized I didn't need my paycheck anymore, it was surreal. I wasn't rich, but I was free. And that was worth more than any salary. I remember the day I quit like it was yesterday. No drama. No viral resignation video. Just me, closing the laptop, walking out of the building, and feeling a weight leave my chest that had been there for years. I wasn't running away from work. I was walking toward my life. I didn't retire in the traditional sense. I just stopped needing to trade time for money. That's the key difference most people don't understand. Retirement isn't sitting on a beach for 40 years. It's having options. Now I wake up when I want. I work when I want. I choose projects that excite me, not ones that drain me, but I'll be honest with you, it wasn't always easy. There were months I doubted myself, months I made less than I needed. But each time I adjusted, learned, and moved forward. The biggest shift wasn't financial, it was mental. I stopped measuring success by titles or how busy I looked. I started measuring it by peace, time, and ownership of my life. This journey didn't make me famous. It didn't make me ultra rich, but it gave me something most people never get. Agency, I own my time, and that's priceless. Here's the part they don't put on Instagram. I don't have a Lambo. I don't live in a mansion. I still use a phone that's a few years old. Why? Because I don't buy things to impress people. I buy time. The truth is, most people stay trapped because they try to look rich instead of becoming free. When I made that shift, everything changed. I learned to live below my means. I invested instead of spending. I prioritized freedom over flex. And no, I'm not saying it's easy. You'll be misunderstood. People will think you're broke or boring. But when you're not stressed about money every month, you don't need their approval. Financial freedom isn't about millions. It's about enough. It's about margin. It's about having time for your kids, for your parents, for yourself. I got off the hamster wheel not because I'm smarter or luckier, but because I started asking better questions, and I acted on the answers. You can do the same. If you want this life, you don't need permission. You need a plan. So, what does retirement at 30 actually feel like? It's slow mornings, long walks, deep conversations, unrushed meals. It's time to create, time to think, time to live. I still work, but only on things I care about. I help people navigate this same path. I build, I write, I invest. But there's no pressure, no no Sunday scaries. I travel more, I sleep better, I'm more present with the people I love. And none of that came from chasing status. It came from chasing freedom. Here's what I want you to know. This life isn't reserved for the lucky. It's possible for anyone who decides to take control of their finances, their mindset, and their habits. You don't have to retire at 30, but you can stop living paycheck to paycheck. You can design a life where work is a choice, not a cage. If this video lit a fire in you, hit subscribe. I drop weekly videos breaking this down step by step. Not hype, not shortcuts. Just real tools, real talk, and real results. And in the comments, I want to hear from you. What does your freedom look like? Let's talk about it. Let's build it together.